All right, this is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. I've been out for about a month, which has been pretty nice to be away from having to vlog, but I still remember that it's important to because a lot of my information over the past decade has been erased, and they've been erasing everything from memo pads in my cell phones. I've been through, I don't know, numerous cell phones, at least four or more, five or more cell phones now. They've always hacked my cell phones, hacking my text. The messages are always hacked. Um, so I've taken lots of pictures and they went through and removed pictures. And every time I came to a conclusion in order to file any type of lawsuit, they made sure to remove all of the inculpatory evidence, and they'll wait for me to put all the files together, and then they'll hack the device, whatever device I have. It could be the laptop. Usually that's what it's been because this is my first time with the desktop, and they still hack the desktop. Basically, long story short, it's the same thing that's been going on. The latest is I've stopped fishing, so they can't really use my vehicle as much as a means of abuse because they've been using the vehicle's key fob. Most vehicles come with two key fobs. And when I purchased the car, it came with one, but that doesn't matter because they have the devices that just scan the signal remotely, and then they copy that signal so they can be in proximity or remote, whatever, of the remote or the scanner, and then they use that to lock and unlock your door. And so in this case, when I went fishing a lot, they would tamper with the door lock. So if I was loading equipment, they would lock the door when I had the door unlocked, and I would be carrying things to the car. And when I go to the car to open the door with things in my hands, they had locked the door. And we go back and forth. It has nothing to do with the batteries or anything of that nature because I got brand new batteries in the key fob. So I don't have to deal with that. I still go out and drive when I need to. And when I do, they're always timing me still. I've been doing a lot of work because I found that the company, the city, the 311 and the city, when they lied to me about filing a claim and allowing the water to run, it started to accumulate in the backyard, which I've taken photos of. But now I found that there's mold in one of the sections that started building up of the foundation. And then I have some cracks, some newer cracks because the ground got soft. And I told you that the water was like up to 5 yards of my foundation. And they allowed this to occur when I had already notified them 2 or 3 months after I noticed the water hadn't stopped. And they didn't do anything about it. And they played this little tag game with the cell phone, saying that they're going to come through and they're going to scope, and then they're not going to scope. And then all of this stuff basically that they told me and lied to me about. And then come to find out after my arrest, it had been a year at that point, over a year, allowed this water to continue. And then they ended up sending me this letter saying that they don't deal with it. And this is the city. So they lied to me about it and then allowed it to happen, even though I was checking it throughout the year. I've got numerous documentation. And so it just screwed up the house, basically. So now I have, and they're always trying to do this. This has historically been one of the things that they've always tried to accomplish in my life is have me somewhere around black mold or just mold in general. Because I remember when I was going in my master's program, there was mold there. And they always have you trying to be somewhere in a unhealthy environment. And they're always making sure that you're living in despair. They know your type of personality. And so what they do is they just run opposite of that. And they know you like things tidy and clean. And then what they do is they just shove you into problems, and they're giving you hand-me-downs. And they're just doing all this shit basically to make your life disarray, okay, and in despair and destitution. right? I've been unemployed still, even though I have 5 certifications. I've already said that I'm done working with people because I'm tired of dealing with this every time I say stop touching me, or every time I'm saying that something is going on, or writing something down, or reporting something. It's always deflected and pushed away. And then I show up to any job and people are allowed to just say and write things about me that aren't true. So it's just a shit show. And so I just don't work with people. Um, I work remotely, and that's just how I'm going to do it the rest of my life, because the stalking's continued. They keep bringing these vehicles of numerous colors, makes and models by, but they'll use frequency by taking like the same make and model and color and bringing it by. I've been doing a bunch of carpentry and painting and all kinds of stuff, basically risking my health to get this shit cleaned up. And long story short, every time I'm outside going in and out of the crawl space or going up and down the stairs, these people, strangers, are driving by, timing when I'm coming through the house, like literally timing my geospatial location. I'm going to get into like all the fine details here soon. I'm going to start uploading all the police interactions. I had a court hearing recently, and they had white SUVs tracking me and stalking me all the way up to the court. When I got into the PD court parking lot, they had them waiting for me. And as I'm navigating, doing like a turn in the parking lot, they had a white SUV cut me off, like deliberately drive and cut me off, knowing that I'm going to be going near that entry exit point, and then park directly in front of me. I started taking pictures, and then the police wants to start asking me questions like, why are you taking pictures? And they just want confrontation. And literally, it's just terrorism. And then they're working off of terrorism. It's just they're terrorizing you, and then they're working off the terrorism. That's it. That's it. And so I can't go anywhere without anybody saying the opposite of me. Everything I do is the opposite. Nothing of my character is appropriate according to anybody. You can't say, walk, talk. You can't do nothing. Everything that you do is contrary to appropriateness. It's contrary to professionalism. It's just everything is painted on the other end of the spectrum all of a sudden. You can just be doing whatever job or task professionally, and you can just be studying and doing what you're supposed to do. And pretty soon you'll just get a knock on the door and they say, hey, supervisor wants to go talk to you. And pretty much you just show up and they just start blabbing at the mouth about how you're doing something and you're not. And you're just, it's just pointless to show up at work. Basically, it's pointless. It is absolutely pointless to show up. You jump to these ambulance services and you're learning all these new protocols. Imagine going through literally like 8 different ambulance services, right? Or more. And you got to learn all these protocols there, and you just show up and you're going through the rhythm, you're going through the flow, you're doing the learning gradient. No one's exhibiting any type of leadership skills. You just literally just standing there doing nothing, not teaching you anything, not telling you anything. And then all of a sudden they just show up at the end of the shift and say, hey, someone wants to talk to you. And then they just start accusing you of things, or they'll just write stuff up, literally. So I'm just done. I'm done dealing with it. And then whenever you're trying to defend yourself, you have a third party asshole who's literally erasing all the information that you're notating and making sure that you don't go to any type of lawsuit. None of what you wrote down comes to fruition. That's where I'm at. I was in the court hearing a few days ago on the 8th. And the lady, one of the prosecutors, says that she wants to show me a video that the court found. The court wants to show me a video. I really don't care what's on the video, because the thing about it is I've already done my due diligence months in the making. Literally in 2023, I've already started calling their department. I've already started telling them what's going on. I've already had them responding numerous times. You need to come to a realization that who else do you know has to call the police and deal with the police so much that I can't go 1 month without having to call the police? Does that make any sense to you? I can't go 6 months without calling the police. I can't go 1 year without calling the police. It is non-stop subversion all the time, right? I've called them numerous times. They didn't want to do anything. It's assumption of risk. I really don't care what's on the video. And what's crazy is they want to make sure that they don't bring up, and they acted like they did research, but they didn't do anything on their research about my phone records or anything on their research about what it is that I've already accomplished and done my due diligence wise, telling them what's going on. Months and damn near over a year, okay, and a half before this whole arrest. So I don't want to hear anything. I don't even care, because this has been going on for 11 years. And the fact that you want to show me one video over 11 years says a lot about you, that you have one video. Boo-hoo, okay? I really don't care, okay? Because I've been saying this has been going on for over a decade. I've told you what's going on with numerous police departments. End of discussion. It's assumption of risk at this point. That's what it is. And the fact that you guys want to diagnose me with a whole spider web of things, and I'm still doing the right thing, and you still only want to show me one video, I'm not interested. I really, it doesn't, I don't care. I could be in the middle of the road doing jumping jacks. I really don't care. Okay. Long story short, the whole court hearing is just more harassment. Being harassed, saying that I'm not allowed to take any surveillance or photos of the police department premises. The list goes on. It's literally terrorism, and they're just working off of terrorism. I'm fed up with it. I don't fucking work with people anymore. Okay. If I don't get a some type of cyber job or something remote, then I'm just going to be living off unemployment the rest of my life. I'm just going to be doing my own thing, because I'm done. I'm done dealing with people. Okay. And the fact that not only am I not given the equal protection of the law, but how is it I just show up to work and people are allowed to just start writing documents about you? They're literally just, you could be doing nothing. You could just be sitting there reviewing some stuff in the ambulance, and at the end of that shift, they're going to say that you were doing something. It's absolutely unbelievable. Okay. Unbelievable. Other than that, I've been dealing with this whole neighbor deal. So all of a sudden, when I first moved here, they want to deal with the dogs and the neighbor in the back. But now all of a sudden, they're allowing this dog in my front yard, another neighbor, to just come in the yard multiple times a week, like 3, 4, 5 times a week, and shit in the yard. It's not a big front yard. Okay. And I just don't get it, because if I'm mowing, I've always got to pick up his shit, and I bag my debris. So it means I've got to put my hand in the bag. And if I don't pick up his shit, then that means I'm putting my hand in the dog's shit, because I've got clippings with his dog's shit in it. Okay. So there's more to it than that. We talked about the destruction and the vandalism, yada, yada. So this is where I'm at. I've still been dealing with the dog ever since, and I'm getting ready to upload all of my interactions since February 19th to include February 19th. And I finally have a lawyer 11 years later. Yeah, 11 years later, I finally have a lawyer. And it took a criminal act to finally get one. I couldn't just get one by myself, right? When it's civil, I can't ever get one, right? That's strange how that works. And on top of that, they're making me pay on top of that, right? And I've already suffered personal injuries, torn Achilles, and all this financial injury, right? All of this mental injury and the physical injury of Raynaud's, right? And all the diagnoses that come with everything else, and all the things that I've been through that I still have to pay for an attorney. Okay. I want to note that as well. So I'm going to continue the series 119 Edward, and we're going to start literally like an assembly line. I'm just going to do like a 3 or 4 minute little spiel on each video, and I'm just going to let that thing play. You're going to hear my interactions with numerous police departments, anything from the sheriff in the county, ranging from the municipalities, multiple municipalities, their permissive neglect, and just them disinforming me and giving me this runaround. And you heard me on one of the videos. If you look at the public record on a website that shows what they're arresting people for, all of the things that I'm addressing, they've arrested people. They have recent arrest records and recent reports. Okay. They're doing their job elsewhere, but whenever I'm saying something, they make sure that it's deflected, and they make sure that it's festering, and that I'm always under some type of psychological toll, which is festering, and I have to seethe and ruminate over instead of just leaving me the hell alone. Right? So here we go.